this is my opinion, my review of the most recent documentary done by the Smithsonian channel on ninjas, or ninjutsu for that matter, about ninjas, the historical figure, ninja, but throughout the documentary you see, of course, because it's about ninjutsu, or ninjas, you see all this ninjutsu. You got Anthony Gummins in there, of course, my man. He's in there displaying and talking about the tools that would have been used, weapons, explosive things like that, stuff about the ninja. Also, you see Kawakami in there talking about his stuff, some of his tools, the sleeving, great stuff. There's other, within stories, what I really like about this documentary are the stories. It gives you stories, and you see where ninjutsu happens in time taking place throughout these stories. I really enjoyed that. Hiding the sword in the haystacks, if you guys catch that, that's clever. I really like that. All in all, I can't really complain about it. But it did not disappoint me. It is a good documentary. It's just, I wish there was some more, of stuff I would like to see. More tools gone over. The more tricks of the ninja. Stuff like that would have, pleased my heart a little bit more, even more. But then it would have been longer. I see why they had to just kind of keep things short. They can only go over so many things. It's a documentary, and they gotta, keep it tight. So, it's a good all-in-all documentary. Check it out. 40 minutes long, so bear with it, but here it is. Enjoy.
The ninja. Deadly. Mysterious and infamous even today. Emerging in a time when feudal warlords battled for supremacy, these shadow warriors would rewrite the rules, becoming experts in spying, sabotage, and ruthless undercover warfare. This is the true story of Tamba, raised to become one of the greatest ninja masters. He would confront Japan's mightiest warlord. His story reveals the untold history, deadly techniques, and astonishing secrets of these stealthy warriors. And for the first time on television, one of the last living ninja masters.
The ninja were the best special forces in the whole of East Asia.
The top of the game, the best.
The ninja have become a worldwide pop culture phenomenon. Post-war Japan exported the glorified image of the invincible shadow warrior in comics, B-movies, and computer games. These superhuman action heroes seem too incredible to be true, but the ninja really did exist. Surprisingly, in Japan, the ninja have a mixed reputation as thieves and murderers. Even today, not many Japanese would openly admit to having ninja ancestry. But they clearly don't mind visiting the ninja theme parks.
泥棒であるかのようなね、暗殺者のようなね、姿で描かれた忍びのものね、それが我々とは関係ないと。
So who were the ninja? Thieves, killers, or superhuman warriors? To find out the truth, one has to go back 4 centuries. Tanba Momochi would grow up to become one of Iga's most famous ninja. His life is surrounded by mystery. And the chronicles of Iga don't tell us much about his youth. But like all future ninja masters, Tanba would undergo a merciless training regime, overseen by his family clan. At the age of 12, Tanba would already be joining his teacher on spying missions, such as gathering intelligence on secret gunpowder shipments. They would disguise themselves as wood collectors and search the forests for traveling gunpowder merchants and their samurai guards. An undercover mission like this can suddenly turn dangerous. A samurai is quick to take offense if he's not being treated with enough respect, especially from a cocky young peasant. And in those days, disrespect and death go hand in hand. Blood and murder by the age of 12, a gruesome reality in those times. The mission's failure bears a powerful lesson. Never be blinded by pride, doubt, or fear. In 1560, Japan's last shogun, its supreme military leader, has lost his grip over the country. The nation has fallen into complete anarchy. Regional warlords with their large samurai armies are fighting each other and constantly changing alliances. The stakes are high. Whoever gains enough power to unify Japan has the chance to become the new shogun. But during the last 200 years of total warfare, a new type of warrior has emerged. One who could bring victory outside the battlefield. The ninja.
A warlord would hire a ninja for 3 major reasons. One of them was espionage, the second was infiltration, and the third was arson.
Over time, they also specialized in assassination and causing chaos in battle, disguised in enemy uniforms. The work of a ninja. Ninja warriors offered their services to warlords all over the country. They signed contracts and were sworn to absolute secrecy. Not even their families would know where they operated.
The samurai didn't want people to know that they used ninja. Now, this may have had something to do with the concept of samurai honor, because it was rather dishonorable to get rid of your enemy by having him assassinated or his castle burned down.
To understand why the ninja were held in such contempt, one has to understand the code of honor that ruled the samurai life.
The samurai tradition was that of a noble warrior facing squarely on to an equally noble opponent. The fight was in the open. The fight was to the death. The values of the ninja were the values of the samurai turned on their heads. The trade of the ninja is one of darkness, one of deception, often done in disguise, often done at night. And we really do seem to find that the men of Iga were rather good at it.
All over the country, warrior groups practiced the art of the ninja. But none of them could match the elite warrior skills of the men from Iga. As our young ninja boy Tanba and his grandfather returned to their village, not far from the Iga border, the local ruler Nobukatsu, the ambitious son of Japan's biggest warlord, is awaiting an overdue gunpowder merchant.
殿！火薬職人が襲撃されました。何？我々の7日ほど前に報告を受けまして、火薬商人たちはこの辺りで伊賀者に襲われたと。
Iga was an unruly province, protected by mountains. A haven for small landowners, war refugees, and renegade samurai warriors, who fiercely guarded their independence from oppressive warlord rulers. Most of the Iga men trained in ninja warfare, and some women did too. The ninja foot soldiers were peasant farmers who practiced basic skills after working in the fields. But elite warriors like Tanba trained constantly for special missions. Important decisions were taken by vote of a dozen village elders, a democratic system that was truly unique in war-torn Japan. To protect their independence, the Iga elders drafted a contract that all Iga warrior families should help each other if the war crossed their borders. Some of the ninja, like the Iga and Koka, shared information on their spy networks and exchanged secret fighting techniques, honed over generations. In Japan today, there is still one man alive who holds the secrets of ninjutsu, the art of the ninja. Having been raised in the way of the ninja since the age of 6, Master Kawakami only teaches his knowledge to a select few.
忍術というのはね、武術ではないんですね。むしろ兵法というべきなんですよ。戦うのための兵法が中心なんですね。むしろ自存自衛するためのそのあらゆる全てのそのテクニック、そういったものを総称して忍術というふうに。
Even though the art of the ninja is far more sophisticated than just martial arts, Kawakami's students start with simple climbing techniques and handling standard weapons like the crossblade pike.
中でこっちってついたり、こっち弾いたり、ここのテーブルを切ったりですね。ここ敵逃げた時にこっち引いて、ここにある刃ですね。それでこれ首切ったり。
A boy who was born into a samurai family would have to learn etiquette, horsemanship, spearsmanship, the arts of the sword. However, if he was born into a ninja family, he would have to learn all those and much more. Infiltration, disguise, arson, fire techniques, explosives, psychology, chemistry. The list keeps going on.
For Tanba, the road to mastery is just beginning. For Tanba, the lessons went on and on, endless hours poring over ancient documents, absorbing ancient knowledge. He even had to practice acting skills. In the 16th century, it was very difficult to travel freely through a warlord's territory without raising suspicion. For his undercover missions, Tanba would be trained to take on roles like that of a traveling monk, to gain local knowledge, and to speak in regional accents, creating the perfect disguise for a ninja to pass undetected through the guarded checkpoints of the warlords. When lost in the wild, Tanba would have been taught how to detect busy trade routes by tasting the soil to test for hints of salt left by the sweat of traveling men and animals. The ninja also developed special power food to minimize the weight they had to carry for faraway missions. Every clan had their own recipe for pills against hunger, created from rice, buckwheat, tea leaves, and sometimes fish blood.
パクって踏んで終わりでしょ。1日3つぐらいかな。で食事代わりに、こう食べておった時代がありますね。まあなんとか生活できてきたから、結構効果あるんちゃいます？
For a ninja to survive, the choice of the right food was crucial. Like any other boy at his age, Tanba might have liked to sneak away for a quick treat of sweets. The ninja were on a lifelong healthy diet. No onions, sweets, or garlic. Instead, vegetable, tofu, nuts, and other odorless foods. For a ninja, the wrong meal could easily become his last supper. A well-trained samurai guard might not see or hear a ninja, but he might smell him. Body odor could cost a ninja his life. How did these isolated ninja farming villages gain so much knowledge? What was the secret of their skills? Some historians believe that the knowledge came from Chinese secret societies that had fled their homeland and settled in the Iga region. Others point to the Yamabushi warrior monks that ventured in these mountains.
忍びという時代、山の中に住んでて、山をやはり同じように走っている。そして修験者というのは、非常にそのスーパーマン的な能力を持ったイメージで捉えられてました。空を飛び、雲に乗り、自分をどこにでも移動できる。自分の思う通りに人を動かすことができる。
The feared warrior monks used the Iga Mountains as a refuge from the world, to challenge and harden their physical and spiritual strength, like praying for hours under icy waterfalls. They believed such rituals would give them divine powers to be victorious over their enemies. Their wisdom, iron discipline, and mystic belief became the fertile ground from which the future ninja warriors would rise. Part of the knowledge the ninja picked up from the Yamabushi monks was which plants and herbs could be used to create poisons and medicines.
これは毒ダミですね。これはもう一般によく知られてて、茶にして飲んだりね、してますけども、体の毒素を出すという作用がありますね。で、もう一つはですね、こういう葉っぱですね。これを火で炙ってね、もしこの体の中怪我して化膿したりした時にこれ貼っていくと。そうすると毒を出してくれると。一番よく有名なね、忍者の中では有名ですよ。だから薬ではトイレに出てくる虫があるんですね。オナガウジとかオナガムシとか言うんですけど、それを乾かしてね、それを使用するんですが、でそれを火にくべたりするとね、嫌な匂いがするんですけど、匂いで人間が眠ると。
The secret ninja skills were handed down from generation to generation. Manuals were deliberately incomplete, so the most secret knowledge was passed orally from master to student. But the mind was not all they exercised. A skillful ninja had to be extremely fit. And body hardening was the toughest part of becoming a ninja.
小さい頃幼少からやらないとですね、大成しないんですよね。で今の時代もともとやらなきゃいけないことがいっぱいある。でそういう中でね、人って何だかわけのわからないものをね、目的なしにやるなんてことはできないですよね。
Ninja strengthening exercises were also used for the perfect impersonation of a frail old beggar.
どっかに忍び込んでいったり、石垣上がったり、木登ったりね、そういった時に足の指の力が必要なので、それをつけるための訓練ですね。
Hands, ankles, and the head were beaten to gain strength.
暗闇で忍び込んだ時に手触ってこういろいろ刺したりね、するためにもここはあまりそういったトレーニングはしないです。感覚を鋭敏にすると。外側鎧のようにですね。
The hardening of the body is still a painful process. After years of hard training, Tanba faces a final challenge. A test of his sixth sense.
僕も誰かに狙われてね、 殺人のね、あるいは対象になったわけじゃないから、わからないですけども、そういうものは確実に分かるようになるというのは多分事実だと思いますね。
This day, the old master knows. His grandson is ready. Tanba has become a ninja. Can the sixth sense really be learned? The ninja tradition says yes. Starting with something as simple as listening to a fallen needle. It's not really about listening. It's about attention. Concentrating on the faint sound of a needle sharpens the senses. For Kawakami's advanced students, there's another exercise. Staring at the flame of a candle.
そうすると外の外界の音が遮断されたりね、逆に聞こうとすると遠くの音が聞こえたりです。ただ慣れてない時にあれをやると目を痛めたりするのでね。でこれは非常に大事なトレーニングなんですよ。五感が鋭敏になっていくわけですね。もう五感プラスアルファの第六感も発達してきますよね。
After completing his training, Tanba rose quickly to become a ninja master. His grandfather had given him all the techniques and wisdoms of his ancestors, skills that he will need as he is about to face the challenge of his life. The world outside of Iga has changed. Nobukatsu's father, Oda Nobunaga, now has tremendous power, conquering province after province with unyielding and brutal force. The Iga ninja know they are next. Their territory is almost surrounded by Oda's allies. They're a thorn in his territorial ambitions and a constant threat to his supply routes.
この忍びの国の忍者の国の攻略のために砦が必要で、そして丸山城を次男の織田信勝に建てるように作るように命じたわけです。
Nobukatsu regards the conquest of Iga as the ideal opportunity to prove himself in the eyes of his father. Tenba knows the castle is a threat to his people. His first step is to gather intelligence. Dressed as a monk, Tanba attracts little attention. For each soldier entering the gates, he drops a bean from a bag. At the end of the day, he can see from the remaining beans how many soldiers are guarding the castle. Capturing a fortified castle needs careful planning. Tanba's strategy: a small ninja elite team will breach the outer defenses and take position inside the castle, in preparation for the main attack.
One of the first lines of defense against a ninja was a listing scout. These were soldiers who went out around the castle perimeter. They crept and hid in hiding places, giving out special signals and clappers, warning if there was problems.
When a ninja stalks his prey, he makes sure the wind won't carry the sound to the enemy, and walks in his shadow to the rhythm of his footsteps. Because no one will miss the listening scout until morning, one of Tanba's ninjas continues to signal to the ring of scouts around the castle. The second line of the castle's defenses are carefully arranged fires that can light up a stretch of land filled with gravel that detects approaching ninja. The only way to cross the open space is to distract the castle guards on the wall. Now a second ninja squad leaps into action.
Now that a ninja had got through, he had to cross over the moat but keep dry. If he was wet, he would leave footprints everywhere in the castle. To do this, they had many systems. One was to tie a raft of bamboo which floated on barrels and allowed him to get across.
While the enemy is expecting an attack on the opposite side of the castle, Tanba and his men start their climb in silence. Breaching the walls is easy for the trained ninja. Locating the target inside is another challenge.
Inside a castle, they had to keep silent. Not even many Japanese people know that the straw mats that you can find in most Japanese houses, the layout was designed to help stop ninja infiltrating during the night. These mats are set up so that the weave goes in one direction. If a ninja's foot goes with the weave, there's not much sound. However, the way they're set up, a ninja's foot would go against the weave, and this sound would be listened for in the dead of night.
It's now several hours since the diversion attack. Inside the castle, things start to calm down. Creating a diversion is useful for infiltration, but it also alerts the enemy. So Tanba and his men hide until the troops get tired.
When they were moving through the corridors or moving through living quarters, they had to keep silent. So they developed a really special walking technique. This involved walking on the palms of their hands with their feet on top. Now, when they came across people who were sleeping, they would place folded paper in their mouths so that their breath did not hit the face of the sleeping person but went sideways instead.
Fatigue is every warrior's worst enemy. The moment of weakness is the time a ninja strikes. Tanba takes out the commander and signals the other ninja to strike, while Tanba ignites the gunpowder cache. Destruction is total. The castle built to conquer Iga falls. Nobukatsu, son of Japan's greatest warlord, has lost to a handful of warrior outlaws. Determined to seek revenge, the following year, Nobukatsu assembles a samurai-led army without informing his mighty warlord father. The ninja are outnumbered, but well prepared. Nobukatsu needs to impress his warlord father and ignores all warnings. 8,000 men cross the mountain passes of Iga. For Nobukatsu's general, victory seems certain. He does not know his enemy.
で、戦術的に一番大切なのは地形です。で、彼らはそれをもう知り尽くしているから。だから大きな権力とゲリラ戦で戦うことができた。
Lured deep into the forest, Nobukatsu's army faces a military nightmare.
Nobukatsu was fighting an invisible army. This army would use any trick up their sleeve just to win.
こう並べたらですね、全部この上尖ってる部分が上を向いてるんですね。だから敵が追いかけていた時にこれを撒き散らしたりしたらですね、これが足に刺さってしまって。
The ninja were experts at explosives. They would take 2 small bowls and fill them with gunpowder, shrapnel and other material. They would place them together and bind them and glue them in paper.
The samurai have been fooled into a costly panic retreat. The lights on the mountains did not come from an approaching ninja army, but from torches tied to trees.
The defence of Iga seems to have been carried out very well indeed, using a mixture of guerrilla tactics, surprise attacks, and trying to wear down the enemy as much as they could. On one occasion, we know that they caused such confusion among Nobukatsu's army that his samurai started fighting each other.
Although Nobukatsu escaped unharmed, he lost one of his father's most capable generals. His second defeat by the Iga ninja brought total shame to the family of the powerful warlord Nobunaga.
Nobunaga had seen the defeat of his son by the men of Iga, and that could not be tolerated because it was a slur against the honour of the Oda family. In addition, the men of Iga threatened his lines of communication by their very presence.
This time, Warlord Nobunaga doesn't leave anything to chance. He sends every soldier he can spare to storm the small province, from 6 sides at once. 55,000 against 10,000 Iga warriors. The Iga ninja need to decide whether to flee, continue their guerrilla tactics against the samurai, or face the enemy full on. Tanba consults the oracle. Tanba makes a fateful decision. He will stay and fight, relying on his highly trained warriors to defeat overwhelming odds. This time, guerrilla tactics will not be enough. The Iga will also have to make a defensive stand from fortified positions. Once the samurai armies fight their way through the Iga Valley and reach the ninja strongholds, they face another serious obstacle. Behind the facade of an unassuming ninja mansion lies a complex defense system, using rivers and floodable rice fields as barriers and potential minefields, complete with weapon stashes and secret escape routes.
The Iga ninja forts looked like unassuming country mansions, but in reality they were death traps.
Once the samurai army broke through the outer defenses, they would be entangled in bloody house-to-house fighting. A typical ninja mansion had quick sliding doors to escape. There were countless hidden weapons, as well as special hiding places to observe and stab intruders.
この部分は普通のこの床ですね、なってるんですが、実は秘密の隠し箇所になって武器が隠されているというような構造になっています。
The ninja fighter had a huge arsenal, ranging from fire rockets, hand grenades, and even nerve gas. Even simple household tools like these kitchen rings could be turned into lethal weapons.
それに中と外に刃をつけてるんですね。で、これで敵と戦えると。
A harmless-looking cane could conceal a deadly surprise. Tanba orders his people to prepare for war, making stocks of poison, medicine, and explosives. But this time, the Iga ninja stand no chance. The enemy is about to gain their best weapon, their secrets. Until now, the neighboring ninja warriors of Koka have largely stayed out of the conflict. But now a Koka ninja asks for an audience with Nobukatsu.
Igaの地図にございます。
その中で当然その過程の中で忍者のいろんなグループは裏切りもありました。信長についたりしました。そしてその攻撃路7つのルートから攻めてきましたけれど、いとも簡単に信長軍はもう正規軍がドーンと流れ込めばもうとてもゲリラ戦では戦えません。
With all their secret defenses revealed, Iga strongholds fall one after another to Oda's forces. While some units stay behind to keep control in the north, the majority of Oda's armies gather in the south, and finally surround the last stronghold of the Iga ninja, Tanba's base, Fort Kashivabara.
織田家家老津川団長桃地丹波出てこい
This is it, the final stand, against an overwhelming samurai army. Master Tanba and his 450 ninja, 1,200 foot soldiers, and their women and children now face the might of Oda's army of 30,000 men.
大きな間違いをここで犯しました。忍者は強いと分かっている相手と戦ってはいけないんです。忍者なら逃げるべきなんですね。
For 2 harrowing weeks, Tanba's forces defy the enemy. The Iga keep the samurai at bay with guns, explosives, and nightly attacks. But Tanba and his ninja cannot hold out forever. Every day, more of his men are dying. The end is near. Desperation is setting in. Tanba has lost, but he cements his legend as a master ninja with one last desperate gamble. Killing their samurai general in the open might dishearten the enemy into retreating. The attack succeeds. But Oda's armies stand firm. For the Iga, there is nothing left but certain death.
一気に潰されたわけですね。これは忍者としての一番の失敗で忍者が消えていった瞬間です。
Even though he was defeated, Tanba had shown himself to be a great military leader because he had held out so long against overwhelming odds.
On November 24th, 1581, Tanba's fort, the last stronghold of the Iga, falls. The next day, the soldiers follow their orders without mercy. This was not war. It was extermination. In one town alone, over 400 men, women, and children were decapitated in a single day. The bloodshed lasted for days. And Tanba Momochi? His body was never found. All records suggest that he died in the flames,
One thing that is really interesting is the story that after the battle, the two greatest ninja leaders were never found. There's a wonderful legend that they actually set fire to their own mansion to cover their escape. It seems an unusual thing to do, but after all, they were masters of deception.
Could it be that Master Tanba faked his death and escaped through one of the tunnels under the fort? Did he cross enemy lines disguised as a common foot soldier? We might never know. But it is known that ninja leaders often kept several identities in place, complete with families in other parts of the country, so that they could easily disappear. If Tanba lived to an old age, he would surely have trained a gifted pupil, passing on the ancient knowledge of the ninja like the generations before him. From master to master, until today. How does history judge the ninja? Were they cunning and cold-hearted killers, or warriors that would complete a mission at all cost, paying a heavy price for their dedication to independence?
戦うのはね、これは基本的にはやらない方がいいんですよね。ただ仕事としてですよ、その当時の戦国の時の仕事でね、敵の中をね、撹乱すると。
The ninja were clinical, were precise, and dare I say it, almost honourable. Their trade may have been one of deception, but they never betrayed the masters who paid them. They fought to the death.
Although we have told his story, ninja masters like Tanba would have preferred to stay hidden in the mist of history. As it says in a famous ninja scroll, "The best ninja has no smell, leaves no name, and makes everybody wonder if he ever existed."